Let me tell you something. You can have all the money in the world. You can have the cars and the house and the clothes and the fame. But if you do not have self-respect, then baby, you do not have anything. You are walking around looking successful on the outside, but you are empty on the inside. That is not a life. That is a performance. Self-respect is the foundation. It is the concrete that everything else is built on. You cannot build a skyscraper on sand, and you cannot build a successful life without respecting who you are. I do not care how talented you are. I do not care how smart you are. If you do not respect yourself, then none of that matters, because you will sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. I have seen it happen 1,000 times. Talented people with no self-respect destroying their own careers. Smart people with no self-respect staying in relationships that are killing them. Gifted people with no self-respect accepting crumbs when they deserve the whole meal. It breaks my heart every single time. I do not care what you have been through. I do not care what they told you when you were growing up. I do not care what happened in your childhood or what mistakes you made in your past. At some point, you have got to look in the mirror and say that you are worthy of respect, starting with your own respect. You have got to draw that line in the sand. See, the problem is that most people are waiting for somebody else to give them permission to respect themselves. They are waiting for validation from their parents, their spouse, or their boss. But that validation has to come from within first. You cannot wait for the world to tell you that you are worthy. You have to know it in your bones before anybody else will believe it. When you have self-respect as your foundation, then everything you build on top of it is solid. Your relationships are solid. Your career is solid. Your mental health is solid. But when that foundation is cracked and broken, then everything else will eventually crumble. So before we go any further, I need you to understand that self-respect is your foundation. Now, this one right here is going to make some of you uncomfortable. But I need you to hear me on this one because it might sting a little bit. The truth is that you teach people how to treat you. Every single day, through your actions and your reactions, you are teaching the people around you what is acceptable and what is not. Do not act surprised when people disrespect you if you have been allowing that disrespect for years. Every time you let somebody cross a line and you did not say anything, you taught them that crossing that line was okay. Every time somebody showed up 3 hours late and you just smiled and said it was fine, you taught them that your time does not matter. You were the teacher in that classroom. I know that sounds harsh. I know some of you are sitting there thinking that it is not your fault, but I was hoping you could take responsibility for your part in this. Yes, other people should know better. Yes, other people should treat you right automatically. But we do not live in a perfect world. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Stop blaming everybody else for how they treat you when you keep signing off on the behavior. When you accept less, you get less. That is just how it works. If you keep saying yes when you mean no, then people will keep asking you for things they have no business asking for. If you keep forgiving behavior that should not be forgiven, then that behavior will keep happening. The good news is that you can change this at any moment. You can start teaching people a new lesson today. You can start showing people that your time is valuable. You can start demonstrating that your feelings matter. You can start requiring respect in every interaction. It will not be easy at first because people are used to the old you, but they will adjust or they will leave. And here is the thing about the ones who leave. They were never really there for you in the first place. They were there for what they could get from you. They were there because you made their lives easier at the expense of your own peace. So when you start teaching people how to treat you properly, the ones who cannot handle will remove themselves from your life. Now, some of you think strength is staying. You have been conditioned to believe that strength means fighting for people who are not fighting for you. You think strength means holding on even when everything inside of you is screaming to let go. You think that walking away makes you a quitter or a failure. Let me correct the thinking right now. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. It takes more courage to leave a situation that is not serving you than it does to stay and suffer. Anybody can stay stuck. Anybody can remain in their comfort zone of misery. But it takes a warrior to say enough is enough and actually mean it. Walking away from a toxic job is a powerful decision. I know you got bills to pay. I know you have responsibilities. But staying in an environment that is destroying your mental health is not noble. It is not admirable. It is self-destruction in slow motion. There are other jobs out there. Other opportunities are waiting for you. But you will never find them if you refuse to let go of what is hurting you. Walking away from a relationship that is draining your soul is powerful. I do not care how many years you have invested. I do not care how much history you have together. If that relationship is taking more than it is giving, and if that person is breaking you down instead of building you up, then walking away is the smartest thing you can do. Love should not feel like a prison sentence. Walking away from friends who only call when they need something is a power. Those are not friends. Those are users. Those are people who see you as a resource rather than a human being. Real friendship is reciprocal. Real friendship goes both ways. If you are always the one giving and never the one receiving, then you need to reevaluate who you are calling a friend. Do not let anybody tell you that walking away makes you weak. The people who tell you that are usually the ones who benefit from you staying. They want you to stay stuck because your stuckness serves them somehow. But this is your life. This is your one precious life. And you have every right to walk away from anything that is not aligned with your peace and your purpose. You have got to stop this. I am serious right now. You have got to stop begging people to stay in your life. You have got to stop chasing people who have already shown you they do not want to be caught. You have got to stop holding on to people who let go of you a long time ago. If somebody wants to leave, then hold the door open for them. Matter of fact, ask them if they need help packing their bags. Because anybody who does not see your value does not deserve your presence. Anybody who cannot recognize what they have in you does not deserve the privilege of being in your life. Let them go. I know it hurts. I know rejection is painful. I know it feels like you are losing something when somebody walks away. But what you are really losing is dead weight. What you are really losing is something that was never truly yours to begin with. You cannot lose what was meant for you, and anything that leaves was not meant to stay. You are out here crying and begging and pleading. You are sending those long text messages at 2 a.m, asking what went wrong. You are promising to change and promise to be better just so they will stay. But do you hear yourself? Do you hear how that sounds? You are negotiating for love that should be given freely. That is not a relationship. That is a hostage situation. When somebody shows you they do not want to be there, you need to believe them. Stop making excuses for them. Stop trying to find reasons why they did not mean what they clearly demonstrated. Actions speak louder than words, and their actions are telling you everything you need to know. Their departure is making room for your destiny. The right people will not make you beg. The right people will not make you question your worth. The right people will choose you just as hard as you choose them. So stop wasting your precious energy on people who make you feel like you are not enough. Save that energy for the ones who see your value without you having to convince them. Listen to me, your worth and your value are not determined by somebody else's opinion. Just because they cannot see what you are worth does not mean you are not worth it. Their blindness is not your burden to carry. A diamond does not stop being valuable just because somebody thinks it is just a rock. Think about that for a second. The diamond remains a diamond regardless of who is looking at it. The value is inherent. The value is built in. It does not matter if the person holding it has no idea what they are holding. The diamond knows what it is. Gold does not lose its worth because somebody mistakes it for brass. The gold does not become less valuable because of its confusion. The problem is with their perception, not with the gold itself. And the same is true for you. When somebody fails to recognize your value, that is a reflection of their vision, not your worth. You are valuable whether they recognize it or not. Stop letting other people's blindness determine your worth. Stop allowing their inability to see your greatness to dim your light. They might not get it. They might never get it. But that does not change who you are or what you bring to the table. I have watched so many people shrink themselves because somebody told them they were not good enough. I have seen talented people give up on their dreams because one person did not believe in them. I have witnessed amazing individuals settle for less than they deserve because somebody convinced them that less was all they could get. It breaks my heart every time. You have got to know your worth independent of external validation. You have got to look in the mirror and see the greatness that is staring back at you even when nobody else can see it. Your value was determined before you took your first breath. No opinion can add to it, and no opinion can take away from it. You are priceless, and do not let anybody make you forget that. Now, I know some of you struggle with this one. You are too nice. You are too sweet. You do not want to hurt anybody's feelings. You were raised to be accommodating, agreeable, and pleasant. You were taught that good people say yes to everything and everyone. But let me tell you something that nobody told you when you were growing up. Setting boundaries does not mean. Setting boundaries is self-preservation. It is the difference between being kind and being taken advantage of. It is the difference between being generous and being depleted. There is a big difference, and you need to understand it. You are not being rude when you say no. You are being honest. You are being clear. You are respecting your own time and energy enough to protect it. That is not rudeness. That is wisdom. The people who get upset when you set boundaries are usually the ones who were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Of course they are upset. You just close the door to their free access. You are not being difficult when you require respect. You are being smart. You are valuing yourself enough to demand that others value you too. There's nothing wrong with having standards. There is nothing wrong with having expectations. The right people will rise to meet your standards. The wrong people will complain about them. Think about it like this. A fence around a beautiful garden does not mean it is protection. That fence keeps out the people who would trample the flowers and destroy what took so long to grow. Your life is that garden. You have worked hard to cultivate something beautiful. You have invested time and energy and tears into building what you have. Put up the fence. Protect what you have built. Keep out the people who just want to trample on your flowers. Keep out the people who have no respect for what you have created. Keep out the people who only show up to take and never to give. Your boundaries are your fence. Your boundaries are your protection. And anybody who truly loves you will understand why those boundaries exist. How many of you are running around trying to give to everybody else, but you are running on empty? How many of you are showing up for everyone except yourself? How many of you have made self-sacrifice into an identity that you wear like a badge of honor? You cannot pour from an empty cup. You just cannot. It is physically impossible to give what you do not have. You can try. You can push yourself to the breaking point. But eventually you will collapse. Eventually you will burn out. Eventually there will be nothing left because you kept giving it all away. You are out here trying to be everything to everybody. The perfect parent, the perfect employee, the perfect friend, the perfect spouse, the perfect child, the perfect sibling. You are juggling 100 different roles and responsibilities, and you have got nothing left for yourself. When was the last time you did something just for you? That is not noble. I need you to hear me on this. Running yourself into the ground for other people is not noble. It is not admirable. It is dangerous. It is a recipe for resentment, exhaustion, and breakdown. You cannot sustain a life where everyone else is a priority and you are an afterthought. The math does not work. You have got to fill your cup first. You have got to take care of yourself first. I know that sounds selfish to some of you. I know you were taught that putting yourself first is wrong. But think about it logically. A drained you is no good to anybody. A depleted person cannot help anyone. You have to have something in the tank before you can share it with others. When you start taking care of yourself first, you actually become better at taking care of others. You have more energy to give. You have more patience to end. You have more love to share. Filling your own cup is not selfish. It is strategic. It is wise. It is the only way to sustain a life of giving without losing yourself in the process. How many times are you going to apologize for being you? How many times are you going to shrink yourself to make other people comfortable? How many times are you going to dim your light because somebody else is too weak to handle your brightness? Sorry, I talk too much. Sorry, I am too sensitive. Sorry, I am too ambitious. Sorry, I am too loud. Sorry, I have too many dreams. Sorry, I take up too much space. Stop it. Just stop it right now. You have been apologizing for things that are not wrong. You have been treating your gifts like they are problems. God made you exactly who you are for a reason. Every quirk and every trait and every characteristic was put there intentionally. You were designed with purpose. You were crafted with care. There was thought put into who you would become. So who are you to apologize for the finished product? Stop apologizing for your personality. It is yours and it is valid. Stop apologizing for your dreams. They were put in your heart for a reason. Stop apologizing for being different. Different is what the world needs. We have enough people trying to be the same as everyone else. What we need is more people brave enough to be themselves. The things that make you weird to some people make you wonderful to the right people. Your uniqueness is your superpower. Your differences are your advantages. The very things you have been apologizing for are the very things that make you special. You have just been showing them to the wrong audience. Own who you are. Unapologetically and completely own who you are. Stop trying to fit into boxes that were not made for you. Stop trying to please people who will never be pleased. Stop minimizing your magic to make mediocre people comfortable. You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand out. So stand out and stop saying sorry for it. When you start raising your standards, you are going to lose some people. I am not going to lie to you and tell you that everyone will be happy about the new you. Some people have gotten comfortable with the old you. Some people have benefited from your lack of standards. When you change, they will not like it. But here is the beautiful part. The people who matter and the ones who are supposed to be in your life will meet your standards. They will rise to where you are. They will not complain about your requirements. They will respect them. They will appreciate that you know your worth, and they will treat you accordingly. The ones who complain about your standards are telling you something important. They are telling you that they cannot meet them. They are revealing that they were only comfortable with you when you required nothing from them. That is information. That is valuable information. Use it to determine who deserves access to your life. Stop lowering your standards to keep people around. I have seen so many people do this, and it never works out. You lower your standards, and you end up with exactly what you settled for. Then you are miserable. Then you are resentful. Then you are wondering how you ended up in this situation when the answer is clear. You allowed it. Raise your standards and watch the right people show up. It might take some time. Your circle might get smaller before it gets bigger, but the quality of the people in that smaller circle will be so much higher than what you had before. One genuine friend is worth more than 100 fake ones. One real relationship is worth more than a dozen surface-level connections. Your standards are a filter. They filter out the people who cannot or will not treat you the way you deserve to be treated. They filter out the opportunists and the users and the takers. What is left after that filtering process is gold. What is left of the people who genuinely care about you? Trust the process and keep your standards high. Let me ask you something right now. How much is your peace of mind worth to you? Have you ever sat down and really thought about what your mental peace is worth? Have you ever calculated the cost of the stress and anxiety that you carry around every day? Because I am watching so many of you trade your peace for other people's approval. You are losing sleep at night worried about what they think. You are stressed out and anxious, trying to please people who would not cross the street for you. You are sacrificing your mental health on the altar of their opinion, and it is not worth it. Your peace is more valuable than you realize. When you have peace, you can think clearly. When you have peace, you can make good decisions. When you have peace, you can enjoy your life. When you have peace, you can be present with the people who actually matter. But when you are constantly worried about everybody else's opinion, you have no peace left. I do not care if they like me. I do not care if they approve of my choices. I do not care if they understand my journey, because my peace is non-negotiable. I have learned the hard way that you cannot make everybody happy. And if you try, you will make yourself miserable in the process. Some people will never be satisfied with anything you do. You could move mountains for them, and they would complain about where you put the mountains. You could give them everything, and they would ask why you did not give more. At some point, you have to realize that their approval is not attainable and stop chasing it. Your peace should be non-negotiable too. Protect it at all costs. Guard it like the precious resource that it is. Stop letting people who do not matter disturb the calm that you need to live your best life. Their opinions are not paying your bills. Their opinions are not about raising your children. Their opinions are not living your life. So why are you letting their opinions steal your peace? You want better relationships in your life, then respect yourself first. It is that simple and that complicated all at the same time. The quality of your relationships is directly connected to the relationship you have with yourself. You cannot attract what you are not embodying. When you carry yourself with self-respect, you attract people who respect you. It is like a frequency. When you are operating at a certain frequency, you attract other people operating at that same frequency. When you know your worth, you attract people who can afford you. When you value yourself, you attract people who value you. But when you are out here, desperate and needy and settling, you attract people who treat you exactly how you are treating yourself. They see the desperation. They sense the lack of self-worth. And they take advantage of it, not necessarily because they are evil, but because you are signaling to them that this is acceptable. It is like a magnet. You attract what you put out. If you put out insecurity, you will attract people who prey on insecurity. If you put out neediness, you will attract people who will use that neediness against you. If you put out desperation, you will attract people who are looking for someone desperate to manipulate. So if you want respect in your relationships, if you want love that is real, and if you want genuine loyalty, then it starts with how you treat yourself. You have to model the behavior that you want to receive. You have to show people what the standard is by how you treat yourself first. When you start respecting yourself, your relationships will transform. The old relationships that cannot handle the new you will fall away, and new relationships that match your new energy will emerge. Better friends will find you. Better romantic partners will appear. Better opportunities will present themselves. All because you decided to respect yourself. This is where everything changes. This is the key that unlocks every door you have been trying to open. You will never get what you do not believe you deserve. Read that again and let it sink deep into your spirit. If in your mind you believe that you deserve crumbs, then you will accept crumbs. You will look at those crumbs and convince yourself that it is a feast. You will be grateful for less than you deserve because you have convinced yourself that less is all you are worthy of. Your beliefs become your reality in ways you do not even realize. If you believe that you deserve to be cheated on, then you will stay with cheaters. You will make excuses for their behavior. You will blame yourself for their choices. You will rationalize and justify and explain away things that should never be tolerated. All because deep down you believe that this is what you deserve. If you believe that you only deserve a dead-end job, then you will never apply for the promotion. You will never update your resume. You will never walk into that interview with confidence. You will never bet on yourself because you have already decided that you are not worth betting on. Your belief about yourself becomes your reality. It shapes every decision you make. It influences every opportunity you pursue or avoid. It determines what you will accept and what you will reject. Your beliefs are the lens through which you see every possibility in your life. You have to change what you believe you deserve. Say it out loud if you have to. Tell yourself every single day that you deserve better. Write it on your mirror. Put it on your phone. Repeat it until you believe it in your bones. Because once you truly believe that you deserve better, you will start taking actions that lead to better outcomes. Now, this is going to require some surgery, and surgery is not comfortable. Nobody looks forward to going under the knife. But sometimes surgery is necessary to save the patient. Sometimes you have to cut things out to preserve the whole. Anything that cuts you down has to go. Anything that makes you feel small has to go. Anything that diminishes your light and shrinks your spirit has to go. I do not care what it is. I do not care who it is. If it is cutting you down, then it has to be cut off. Cut off the toxic friendships. Yes, even the ones you have had since childhood. Length of time does not justify damage. Just because you have known someone for 20 years does not mean they should be in your next 20 years. Some people were meant for a season, not a lifetime. Cut off the negative relationships that drain your energy and steal your joy. Cut off the romantic partners who make you feel worse about yourself than you did when you were alone. Cut off the family members who only bring chaos and confusion into your life. Blood does not give anyone the right to mistreat you. Cut off the habits that are destroying you. The drinking has gotten out of control. The spending that is keeping you in debt. The negative self-talk that replays in your head every day. The scrolling that wastes hours of your precious time. Cut off everything that is not serving your highest good. You cannot grow while you are being cut down. It is impossible to flourish in an environment that is toxic. It is impossible to bloom in soil that is poisoned. Remove the things that are blocking your blessing. Clear the path for your growth. Cut off what cuts you down so that what remains can finally thrive. Everybody is so worried about their reputation with other people. What do they think of me? Do they like me? Do they approve of my choices? What are they saying about me when I am not in the room? We spend so much energy managing how others perceive us. But what about your reputation with yourself? Have you ever stopped to think about that? Have you ever considered what you think of yourself? Because at the end of the day, the most important opinion of you is your own opinion. You are the one who has to live with yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can you look in the mirror and respect the person staring back at you? Can you honestly say that you are proud of who you are and how you are living? Can you go to sleep at night with a clear conscience, knowing that you did right by yourself and others? These are the questions that matter. Can you trust yourself? When you make a promise to yourself, do you keep it? When you set a goal, do you follow through? When you say you are going to do something, do you actually do it? Your reliability in yourself determines your self-respect. Every broken promise to yourself chips away at how you see yourself. Can you count on yourself to do what is right even when nobody is watching? That is character. That is integrity. That is the foundation of genuine self-respect. It is easy to do right when everybody is looking. The real test is what you do when no one will ever know. That is when your true character is revealed. Your reputation with yourself is the most important reputation you have. If you do not respect yourself, then who will? If you cannot trust yourself, then how can you trust anyone else? If you have no integrity in private, then your public persona is just a performance. Build a reputation with yourself that you can be proud of. I need everybody to understand something very clearly right now. The creator of the universe did not make a mistake when he made you. The God who put stars in the sky and breath in your lungs did not create you to be walked on. You are not designed to be disrespected, dismissed, and disregarded. You are not here to be somebody's punching bag. You are not here to absorb everybody's anger and frustration and negativity. You are not here to be the dumping ground for other people's problems. That was never the plan for your life. That was never your purpose. You are royalty. And I am not saying that to make you feel good. I am saying that because it is true. You were created by the King of Kings, which makes you royalty. You carry within you a spark of the divine. You have inherent worth and inherent dignity that no one can take away from you. You are purposeful. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not random. You were created with intention for a specific purpose that only you can fulfill. There is something that you are supposed to do on this earth that no one else can do. You matter in ways you cannot even comprehend. You are destined for greatness. Not greatness as the world defines it necessarily, but greatness as it was designed for you. You have a destiny that is waiting for you to step into it. But you cannot step into your destiny if you are too busy being a doormat for other people. Stop letting people wipe their feet on you as if you do not matter. Start acting like the royalty that you are. Start walking in your purpose. Start believing in your destiny. You were made for more than this. You were made for so much more than being mistreated, overlooked, and undervalued. Rise and be who you were created to be. When you start respecting yourself, something shifts in the atmosphere around you. It is almost like magic, but it is really just energy. People start treating you differently, and they cannot even explain why. They can feel it. They can sense that something has changed. You walk into a room differently than you used to walk in. Your posture is different. Your eye contact is different. Your energy is different. Everything about your presence has shifted because you have shifted on the inside. You speak differently than you used to speak. There is confidence in your voice that was not there before. There is certainty in your words. You do not mumble or apologize or undermine yourself anymore. You say what you mean, and you mean what you say. People can hear the difference. You carry yourself differently than you used to carry yourself. There is a dignity in how you move through the world. There is a self-assurance that radiates from you. People notice it even if they cannot articulate what they are noticing. They just know that something about you commands respect. And people respond to that energy. They adjust their behavior without you even having to ask. They treat you better without you having to demand it. They respect you more without you having to fight for it. Your energy does the work for you because your energy is now communicating your worth. You do not have to demand respect with your words when your energy already commands it. You do not have to fight for what is already yours. Just respect yourself deeply and consistently and watch how the world adjusts to your standard. Watch how people rise to meet the energy that you are putting out. It works every single time. Now I want everybody to hear me on this final point. Everything you have been praying for, everything you have been dreaming of, and everything you have been working toward all start with self-respect. This is not just feel-good advice. This is strategic wisdom for your life. It is the domino that knocks over all the other dominoes. When you get this one thing right, everything else starts falling into place. When you miss this one thing, everything else becomes a struggle. When you respect yourself, you make better decisions. You stop saying yes to things that are wrong for you. You stop pursuing paths that lead nowhere. You stop settling for relationships that diminish you. Your decision-making improves because you now have a filter. Does this honor my self-respect or does it violate it? When you respect yourself, you attract better opportunities. Doors start opening that were closed before. People start seeing you differently. Chances start appearing that seemed impossible before. It is not magic, it is alignment. You are now aligned with your worth. And the universe responds to that alignment. When you respect yourself, you walk into your purpose with confidence. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop waiting for permission. You stop shrinking back from what is meant for you. You step forward boldly because you know that you deserve to be wherever God is taking you. The life you want is on the other side of you, respecting yourself enough to go get it. Everything changes when you change how you see yourself. Everything shifts when you start treating yourself like you matter. The breakthrough you have been waiting for starts the moment you decide that you are worth it. And you are worth it. You always have been.